This is the 14th live in which I continue reading quotes from Atlas Shrugged and giving some context on the philosophy of objectivism and the ideas that she lays in front of us. So this quote is it's a response from a banker to Dagny Taggart, the main hero. And this shows, this illustrates again, the philosophy of altruism, which is considered bad in objectivism. The banker says, I believe I told you that I lost everything I owned when the bank collapsed. His body had gone slack once more. His interest had vanished. And again, his quote, his speech. But I do not mind it. What I lost was mere material wealth. I am not the first man in history to suffer for an ideal. I was defeated by the selfish greed of those around me. I couldn't establish a system of brotherhood and love in just one small state, amidst a nation of profit seekers and dollar grubbers. It was not my fault, but I won't let them beat me. I am not to be stopped. I am fighting on a wider scale for the privilege of serving my fellow man. And so on. So this is, this type of argument is widely used by collectivists, especially far left, although the far right is, the same. Collectivists of all ilks, okay? The USSR, for instance, the fact that it collapsed, they again were blaming, they were expecting that the whole world would turn socialist, and a lot of collectivists think in those terms. Whenever they do not succeed, like with socialism, or it could be fascism, etc., they blame the world. They say, if everyone was like this, then we would have succeeded. The USSR, although it had all those resources, all the seas, oceans, like access to them, all the natural resources, still it and immense like fields where they could grow everything. It collapsed, yeah, because collectivism is often based on the paradigm of scarcity, the scarcity mindset. Like, it's never enough, we should take the wealth of everyone, everybody should do the right way so that things work. And that's already corrupt. That type of thinking is corrupt from the very beginning. Like, if something works, it should work even if it's done by one individual or a small group of people. Here's an example. I'm a private tutor. If I do things right, I will have my students. But if I don't have students, I can't say that it's the world to be blamed. If everybody were tutors and students, then I would have succeeded. That's corrupt. If I try to blame everyone for the fact that something that I do doesn't work properly. This banker, who has lost the fortune his father and grandfather had built, is one of those collectivists and one of those people of feelings as opposed to being a person of reason. And he, just like all of them, he too blames the world for his so-called misfortune, and he says that had everybody been that way, he would have succeeded, which is of course false. And had everybody been the way he is, everybody would have failed. Everybody would go broke. Yeah, the USSR consisted of more than 10 countries, huge territories, and still it failed. And if you blame external factors like the US or the Freemasons or the Jews, etc., it's just stupid, it's funny, it's too superficial, although there are people who do that, the reptiloids, etc., it's still funny. And it doesn't work that way. Yeah, if huge projects fail, you cannot say, "Oh, it's because the mankind is rotten." It's just immoral to, use arguments like that. The next quote, and I remind everyone that I'm reading Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged for you. Okay. You are welcome to give me thumbs up on YouTube and tap on the screen on Telegram, okay? Comments are also welcome. You can say hi in the comment section and let me know where you guys are joining me from, okay? Next quote. It's the same banker, and this is the last quote from this banker, okay? This is page 313. I am perfectly innocent, since I lost my money, since I lost all of my own money for a good cause. My motives were pure. I wanted nothing for myself. I've never sought anything for myself. Miss Taggart, I can proudly say that in all of my life I have never made a profit. Her voice was quiet, steady, and solemn. Mr. Lawson, I think I should let you know that of all the statements a man can make, that is the one I consider most despicable. So in altruism, yeah, it's like that. They have very stupid ideas. Like I heard this also in my culture in the Republic of Armenia when I was a kid. My father said, at least once, I remember that vividly, but probably, repeatedly, money is dirt on men's hands. In Armenian, that sounds like pore dzerikechta, which is a very irrational, stupid, and ugly thing to say. It's a way of corrupting, a productive person who should understand the value of money in terms of money being very useful and practical tool and invention of the human mind. And I hear statements like that, or sometimes here in Van Nuys in LA, I heard from another relative. She regularly says, money has become dirt in our hands. She means it a little differently. She means that money is being devalued and you spend your money faster, but still that's, it's the same paradigm that money is something dirty or something that goes away too fast. It's again, it's your ability to control money, to spend and invest wisely. But that paradigm that profit, self-interest, money are bad, unfortunately, is very common in different cultures. And I am Armenian, so including in my Armenian culture. No, I don't agree with that, Jigs Bram. I'm reading Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged, and I'm an objectivist. I love the philosophy of objectivism, and I'm a free market capitalist with my mindset and thinking. So I definitely disagree with that. I think it's just wrong. All right, next, how about you? Do you agree with that? And I encourage people who watch me on YouTube to send me thumbs up, okay? I have no clue what objectivism is. Can you explain? So I suggest you to subscribe to my channel because this is what I'm doing. Through reading the bestseller Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, I'm explaining the whole, answer to that is her huge book. And look at all the pages that I'm going to quote from, okay? And this is the 14th live of this series. I have a playlist on YouTube. So I invite you to discover that and go through the playlist and rewatch everything in order to better understand what the philosophy of objectivism is about, okay? Next, let's quote, so page 321. So this is another bad character. She is one, again, just like the previous banker, this person, she destroyed the wealth of her father, and she was a collectivist, this, you know, leftist, Marxist style of collectivist. So this is her speech, okay? Sure thing, I've stopped. Excellent, thank you very much. And thank you for the thumbs up. If it comes from you, I appreciate that. And guys on TikTok, you can share the live and tap on the screen as well, okay? Now, the quote. It went bust, the great factory. That's what happened to it. Just went up and bust. Does that bother you, madam? The factory was rotten. Everybody is rotten. I'm supposed to beg somebody's pardon, but I won't. I don't give a damn. People get fits trying to keep up the show when it's all rot, black rot. The automobiles, the buildings, and the souls. And it doesn't make any difference one way or another. You should have seen the kind of literati who turned flip-flops when I whistled, when I had the Tao, the professors, the poets, the intellectuals, the world savers, and the brother lovers. Anyway, I whistled. I had lots of fun. I wanted to do good, but now I don't. There isn't any good. Not any goddamn good in the whole goddamn universe. I don't propose to take a bath if I don't feel like it, and that's that. If you want to know anything about the factory, ask my sister. Oh, yes, sorry. So this is the brother of that woman. So I think there were 3 or more siblings who inherited the wealth of the father, and it was a motor company. And they destroyed the company, and they played a very bad trick on 1,200, I think, factory employees as well. So that's the brother. And I think I wanted to quote this passage because it shows what happens to all these altruists, or many of them, if I'm not to generalize, okay? When they fail, they turn sour. By the way, there's an interesting theory. I heard it from someone who is smart, so I think it comes from more or less a trustworthy source. They say when Hitler was losing the Second World War and when the Allies were in Berlin, he ordered, or there were thoughts of collective suicide in the German culture because the Nazis thought that the German nation has lost and all the great men have been destroyed, and it made no sense for the German nation to even exist. That's of course horrible, that's crazy, but that would be in line and that would make sense from the perspective of a collectivist logic. Putin and Russia today, they think in the same lines. And Putin literally said, in Russian it sounds this way, они сдохнут, а мы сразу попадем в рай. Meaning all of them will just die like animals, but we will go to heaven directly. So be it right-wing, conservative and religious extremism, or left-wing, Marxist and socialist extremism, it's their thinking. They have this self-identification with the group, and they believe that if the group fails, then everybody should go down with the group, including people outside of the group. And the idea that the possibility of an atomic bomb used by Russia, it is there because these people are collectivists, these people are religious lunatics, and I think Putin believes it when he says it, just like, the mustache man. These folks have some, mental health issues. It's not even mental health issues, it's just their paradigm. They are mystics. They choose mystical perception of the world. They disregard the reason. And this person is one of them. And it's extremely dangerous because you turn yourself into a philosophical and mental zombie. And you become someone very dangerous for yourself and for others. Just like those, Pol Pot and those crazy religious and political leaders who are ready to organize, to commit genocides against their own peoples. And it's people like that, the collectivists, because their sense of I is dissolved in such a terrible way that they even identify the question of being and non-being with the entire group. And they are ready to die or kill because of that self-identification, of that unhealthy self-identification with a group. And any group, it can be a religious group, an ethnic group, a racial group, a gender-based group, right-wing, left-wing, makes no difference. Political group, like workers, the proletariat, etc., etc. Next quote from page 323 of Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. Okay, 322. I can't answer the kind of, it's the same character. I can't answer the kind of questions you're asking, my girl. The research laboratory, the engineers, why should I remember anything about them? It was my father who was concerned with such matters, not I. My father was an evil man who cared for nothing but business. He had no time for love, only for money. My brothers and I lived on a different plane. Our aim was not to produce gadgets, but to do good. We brought a great new plan into the factory. It was 11 years ago. We were defeated by the greed, the selfishness, and the base animal nature of man. It was the eternal conflict between spirit and matter, between soul and body. They would not renounce their bodies, which was all we asked of them. I do not remember any of those men. I do not care to remember. The engineers? I believe it was they who started the hemophilia. Yes, that is what I said, the hemophilia. The slow leak, the loss of blood that cannot be stopped. They ran first. They deserted us, one after another. Our plan? We put into practice that noble historical precept. From each according to his ability, to each according to his need. Everybody in the factory, from charwomen to president, received the same salary, the barest minimum necessary. Twice a year, we all gathered in a mass meeting where every person presented his claim for what he believed to be his needs. We voted on every claim, and the will of the majority established every person's need and every person's ability. The income of the factory was distributed accordingly. Rewards were based on need and penalties on ability. Those whose needs were voted to be the greatest received the most. Those who had not produced as much as the vote said they could were fined and had to pay the fines by working overtime without pay. That was our plan. It was based on the principle of selflessness. It required men to be motivated not by personal gain, but by love for their brothers. love, equality, they come with those ideas. Okay, on YouTube, I'll read your comment, Bram. All for us or nothing for the rest. Good quote. How realistic is that ideal, though? Yeah, so all for us or nothing for the rest. It's not how objectivism works, if you think that is the case. In objectivism, there's an important concept, rational self-interest. What you're speaking of can be called irrational self-interest. When you don't care about others, you care only about yourself. That sometimes is called Nietzschean type of selfishness. Like, I'm the smartest, the most intelligent. The rest of the people are like animals, or they're stupid, so I can do whatever I want. That's Nietzschean and irrational type of selfishness. In objectivism, selfishness, rational selfishness, is the win-win approach. Like, if I want you to be my follower, for instance, I realize, yes, with my mind, I realize that I should be respectful, I should read and answer your commentaries, I should interact with you, etc. So that's reasonable self-interest, and I am respectful because I have interest and I expect something in return. And the other way around is true as well. So that works great both ways. And if I was selfless, I wouldn't even have started this series, because selflessness would require of me to do things that I did not really enjoy. I could have chosen a totally different profession. I could have been doing, totally different things, torturing and punishing myself, staying away from things that I liked, because when I like those things, that's already selfish, you see? The irrational part sounds like what you described. Putin collectivism sounds to me. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yes. In that context, yes, that's what they think of. The collective, for them, is the only thing that matters. And period. So in collectivism, everything for us and nothing for others. That's how it works. It can be a religious group, it can be a political group, it can be a professional group. If you are collectivist and you're a collectivist and you're an altruist, this is how your brain starts to function, And this is why the the football fans and other sports fans European football, I mean, they can get so crazy. They can destroy property, they can attack others, because they do not really have, or that sense of individual self is too fragile, too badly shapen, because they are taught to be altruistic, to hate the self, to hate the ego. So this is why they identify with something bigger than themselves, and they turn violent so easily. Very interesting. Yeah, it is very interesting. It is very interesting, and it allows you to understand many things at a deeper level. So I remind everyone who is just joining me that I'm reading Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged, a best-selling novel. And I invite you guys to give me a thumbs up, to tap on the screen on TikTok, and say hi in the comments section and tell me where you guys are joining me from. How about you, Bram? Where are you joining me from? I'm in LA, by the way, California. Okay, next quote. And those collectivists, again, this guy is bitter, disappointed, he doesn't care about other people. Collectivists, they claim to be about others, but there is a very interesting group among collectivists who are after control and power. And this is why they use collectivism, because they want more power, more recognition. They want to be worshipped, you know? Yeah, that's interesting. And this guy is one of them. I have to go to sleep, sadly. I'll definitely be back though. Sure, Bram. Thank you very much for having been with me. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the comments. Very precious. I love this interaction, so I'm very thankful for your presence and for your subscription. All the best. Have a good night and see you soon, hopefully. And you can also, via TikTok, sometimes you can connect and go live with me, and that way we can have a more interactive experience, okay? See you. Gor Davtyan has told me, no, Gor, I'm not in Armenia. I am in California. I'm from the Netherlands, Europe, so way past midnight for me. Oh, okay. I've been there, by the way. I've been in the Netherlands for 12 days, I think. As an LGBT activist, I was invited by the Dutch government for a short trip. So I love that. I love that. Beautiful, nice country. Although the weather is crazy, I hate that cold wind that people speak of, and the winter, they say, is very harsh. So yeah, I wouldn't live there for most of the year, but a beautiful place. The culture of diversity, freedom, is beautiful. As long as you keep it that way and don't allow any collectivist groups to take over, including right-wing Islamist collectivist groups. Okay, so all the best. Tamayev S. Roman Zatayev, I don't understand what you wrote. Okay, next. And yes, that noble historical precept, from each according to his ability, to each according to his need. This is the formula of exploitation, actually. It's like, if you are able, then we need to exploit you. And if you are in need, then your need to be gratified. And that's the basis of scarcity mindset. Those who are able will hate the fact that they are being ripped all the time. Isn't it so? And this is why we have, this phenomenon of companies opening other branches in other countries in order not to pay heavy taxes in some Western countries, because they are being exploited by the political left, because they raise the taxes all the time. Yeah, so this criminalizing ability, or punishing, not criminalizing legally, but punishing ability with heavier duties and responsibilities is immoral, it's ugly, and it creates all sorts of problems, including economical. No, Roman, I'm not in Russia. I'm in the United States. Hi, Augustin. Hello. Yeah. How about you, Augustin? Where are you joining us from? Okay. I think it's the same person speaking. Yeah, it's about the same plan. Okay. Things became very ugly indeed and went fouler every year. It has cost me my faith in human nature. In 4 years, a plan conceived not by the cold calculations of the mind, but by the pure love of the heart, was brought to an end in the sordid mess of policemen, lawyers, and bankruptcy proceedings. But I have seen my error and I am free of it. I am through with the world of machines, manufacturers, and money, the world enslaved by matter. Oh, this is the sister already, the sister of that guy who was speaking previously, okay? I am learning the emancipation of the spirit. as revealed in the great secrets of India, the release from the bondage to flesh, the victory over physical nature, the triumph of the spirit over matter. Well, I like the philosophy of yoga. There are very interesting concepts there, but the mysticism and the idea of mortifying your flesh or winning against your body, as yoga is sometimes interpreted to mean, yeah, that is problematic. And, and it exists both in Christianity, in the Western Hemisphere, and in other philosophies. Like mystics across the planet try to preach and prove that material world and physical body, your body, is bad, is inferior, you need to renounce it, blah, blah, blah. And you should ask why. Oh, thank you to, oh no, it's still one person who gave me thumbs up on YouTube. I invite others to give me thumbs up on YouTube as well. And on TikTok, you can tap on the screen, okay? All right, now, Trunky says, I've got so extremely much respect for you, it isn't even funny. Okay, Trunky, thank you. I'm dead serious, you're the freaking best. Thank you, Trunky, thank you. And hi, Roman. Greetings. Yeah, the philosophy of objectivism is beautiful. Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. Okay, so Trunky, in case if you're not subscribed, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Okay, and thank you for the thumbs up. In case if that's you, thank you very much. So yes, that's a problem. And interestingly, those who speak of those things, they are after something. They are after control. They want to control you, your mental processes. They actually want you to turn off, shut down your brain and follow them. It could be Christian priests, it could be political leaders, it could be yogis and gurus. I'm not saying all the gurus and yogis are bad, etc. And even in India, they have different philosophies, including very materialistic and rational philosophies, okay? No, Trunky, I'm not Turkish, but Turkey is our neighbor. I'm originally from Armenia, but now I live in California. But still, those mystics want you to follow them, and they don't want you to ask questions. Because why the physical is bad? Well, the brain and the software on the brain, the mind, those are part of the physical realm, and they want you not to think much. They want you to follow them, their books, their commandments, whether it's the Bible, the Quran, or some other book, or some political ideology like fascism or Marxism, whatever. They want you to follow them. That's why they understand that material things, including human brain and human mind, are their enemies. Because if you think, as long as you think, as long as you ask questions like, why will it work? Does that make sense? Shall I do it? Give me proof. Then they cannot convince you. So from Plato in the West and religious prophets in different parts of the world, many of them, and to some gurus, it's the game. They want your vital energy, not even your mind. They would be happy for you to shut down your mind. They want your vital energy. They want you to follow them. They want you to enable them, empower them through your life. So it's not even about, think this way, this is right, this is wrong, but they want more than that, deeper than what's on the surface of your consciousness. Okay. You're so smart, man. Thank you, Trunky. How about you, Trunky? Where are you from? Most people here aren't capable of understanding this level of deep thinking. Well, it's okay. This is why I'm explaining, and I'm interested in finding people who understand it. I'm actually building a community of new intellectuals. Um, so I'm very interested in discovering local and global peoples locally and globally, locally in LA and globally across the globe, who understand what is this about, who would like to work on themselves, on their improvement as individuals throughout their lives. It's about lifelong learning. It's about personal development. It's about creating joy and beauty and reason in life, uh, to enjoy your experience on this planet and to have fun, you know, as opposed to thinking life is misery, this reality is fake, I'm in the matrix, I should strive for heaven, blah, 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 you know. I'm from Netherlands. Oh, okay, another person from the Netherlands. Interesting. Now, is my VPN on, I wonder? I think it's... But still, I'm happy to meet you guys. That's interesting. Okay, I subscribe to you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me just check on my device if my VPN on, okay? Or what if that will harm the live? Okay, I want... Oh, and iPhone is... No, Android is better. When I turn off the call, nothing, you know, is being done to the live. But now it's a little suffering. Okay. Anyway. Next. By the way, in the Netherlands and in Europe, you know, the problem of migration, it's not even migration itself. Like, migration is okay as long as it's legal, as long as it's win-win, you know, but still, unfortunately, it's not always the case. And it's a huge challenge, you know, in France, in the Netherlands, in Germany, when we see those, you know, extremely conservative folks who want to build caliphates in Europe. Of course, that's, you know, worrying. Be it local right-wing Christians or right-wing immigrant Muslims, it's still, you know, the same thing. When they want to destroy the freedom, or it can be left-wing Marxists, socialists, etc. It's, you know, collectivism versus individualism and liberty. For me, that's the basic choice. And Christian collectivism and Muslim collectivism, they are both bad in the fact that because they do not want to respect human rights, human dignity, they do not want to respect the individual through their religious or political agendas, just like, you know, the Marxists, the socialists, and the left-wing collectivists. And in the Netherlands, too, it's sad, like what was done to the Jewish tourists. I think it was last year or this year, when lots of Muslims attacked Jewish fans of football, right? In the Netherlands. That's crazy. Okay. I subscribe to you. Yes, I read that. News lover, hi, what is this live about? This live is about Ayn Rand's book, Atlas Shrugged. Okay. The migration is a big problem, very big problem. Yes, yes, especially when there's... And I'm an Armenian. We have also a lot of Armenian migrants across the globe, including in the Netherlands, in Germany, in the US. And sometimes some Armenians are like that as well. They don't care. They don't learn the language of the new country they go to. They condemn LGBT people. They condemn the local culture, and that's not okay. If you dislike the host country, then you shouldn't stay there. You shouldn't benefit from their social and other projects. And sort of work against destroying what actually impressed you, you know? Yes. Why did they invite you for an LGBT event in the Netherlands? Well, I think it was a government project or government-funded project. Oh, thank you for the third thumbs up. Thanks a lot. TikTok, you can be active as well, and guys, you can give me taps on my screen. Okay. So yeah, it was a government project. They invited me just to see how things work in the Netherlands, to get that experience and to improve the situation of the LGBT people and overall democracy in my country. Oh, thank you for the hearts on YouTube. That's beautiful. Are you like an important guy in the LGBT? Yeah, you could say so, Tranky. I'm an LGBT activist, one of the most well-known LGBT activists in my country. And by the way, I'm also criticized by some LGBT Armenian activists and non-Armenian activists as well for my political stance, for not standing with Palestine, because as a rational human being, I cannot support countries and cultures where they would have me beheaded or thrown off the highest tower because of my homosexuality, because of my Jewish ancestry, because of my disagreement with religious, with theocracy of any kind, and so on. So yeah. What is your orientation, if I may ask? Well, I'm gay. I'm gay. I identify as gay. I love the fact that you don't support Gaza. Okay, cool. It would be nice to have two democratic states next to each other, yeah, Israel and Palestine. But obviously, Palestine is not a democratic state, and it's sad to witness that European countries are supporting the birth of yet another Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, etc., where LGBT people, women, and other groups will be persecuted, you know. So that's kind of sad. Okay, I think I'll take another quote, and that might be it for today. Okay. Oh, okay, this is about the economy and how collectivists cripple the economy with their over-regulation, you know, and bureaucracy. The steel mills of the country were ordered to limit the maximum production of any metal alloy to an amount equal to the production of other metal alloys by other mills, placed in the same classification of plant capacity. This is very technical, but I'll explain. And to supply a fair share of any metal alloy to all consumers who might desire to obtain it. So this is how the USSR and many other collectivist economies function. They want to control everything. They have their 5-year plans or 3-year plans. They have their regulations, requirements, their equalization. I love the idea of free market, when you are free to grow as a producer in any area. It can be private tutoring, it can be doing business in steel industry, etc. Like, if you have the brains, then just go for it. But this type of equalization, where you are ordered to support others, and it was a very big thing, and it is still a very big thing in collectivism. Like in some Christian groups, still you are expected to volunteer a lot. In the USSR it was the case, and sometimes if you would say no to volunteering, you could be fired, and you would have a very hard time finding a new job, you know. So in collectivism, this approach is still relevant. They expect you to be very altruistic, and they want to regulate everything. And even here in LA, they have that kind of communities that work on those based on those principles. Like if you join that collective, you are expected to abide by the regulation and by their regulations, which may go well beyond, the group life. I would hate to work under communism, especially of this kind, where I would have to volunteer, I would have to accept the government's decision to be sent to some remote village to support the local community. Like, I should choose what charity I want to engage in. It's okay to do charity if you want to, or it's okay to invest into some specific causes, but it's not okay when charity and philanthropy are being instrumentalized by the group in order to control the individuals. That's ugly, that's crazy, that's bad. Thank you to the other person who gave me thumbs up on YouTube. Already 4 thumbs up, that's beautiful, thanks a lot. And now let's go through your comments. News Lovers says, but I don't really understand this LGBTQ support. I do support them, but aren't you just normal people just with a different perspective of love? Yeah, News Lovers, I'm not sure what you're speaking of, but in LGBT groups, there is also this extreme form of collectivism and the desire to control everything. Sometimes we see bad laws coming from the right-wing groups, like here in the US, there is a new law stating that the 10 commandments should be in all public schools in every room. That's crazy. And when LGBT groups want to pass laws that would say that gender theory needs to be studied in all classrooms, it's still collectivism, and I still don't stand by that, even if it's about LGBT causes. I hate collectivism. I hate to be controlled, and I hate my freedom. I hate it when my freedom is limited. And I don't care whether it's done by right-wing groups or by left-wing groups. Okay. They are being, okay, Tranky says, they are being discriminated against. I'm also LGBTQ. I'm mainly attracted to women, but I'm also attracted to twinks. Okay. Okay. Yes, so I think that's it. And what this plan does actually in the book is so multi-dimensional. It's about psychology, it's about economy, it's about love, very, very interesting layers and dimensions. So we will see what this kind of regulation does. They ordered the steel mills to share their products with everyone. This is very collectivist, very socialist, yeah, very brotherly. Like, you have to share with your other brothers, yeah. And it's like I'm a private tutor, yeah. I choose my students, I choose with whom I should work. But under collectivism, under even left-wing collectivism, I could be ordered to work with also some individuals or groups I might not have chosen on my own. And there is this interesting question of discrimination and non-discrimination. Yeah, discrimination is bad on its own. Like, if someone doesn't give me the job that I deserve only because of my sexuality, well, that's bad for me, but that's also bad for them, because they are losing a smart, potentially dedicated employee, right? So still, I would prefer to see a world of reason where bad decisions are being punished through market. Like, I could say, okay, guys, this company didn't hire me because of my sexuality, although I was a good fit, and people would stop buying from that company, for instance, yeah, as opposed to force that company to employ me. So yeah, those are interesting questions. But I feel like they are, news lovers says, but I feel like they are overly possessive to the point that they want to share their ideas everywhere and in every domain. News lovers, I'm not sure I agree with you. I think you are speaking of gay prides and parades. If that's the case, then self-expression is an important right. You should have the right not to attend those parades, right? But information and freedom and ideas need to be able to circulate freely, so that people who agree with those ideas can discover them and join, the communities that propose those ideas. So if you get more specific, we can discuss it, more properly. Yeah, talking about LGBTQ. Yeah, see, you should still be more specific what you don't like, what LGBT groups in your country do that you dislike, okay? I think I'll stop here for today. Thank you for having been with me. YouTube, you were awesome. TikTok, nah, still bad. TikTok is very passive, and maybe I am even being shadow banned because of some terms that I'm using. I don't know. But thank you to YouTube. Thank you guys, and welcome to my channel, Tranky and News Lovers, and the other person who is already asleep, Bram. I'm happy to have met you guys, and see you next time. Okay, enjoy the rest of the day. Bye bye.